Hi guys, welcome back on my channel, and if you're new here then welcome. But what I want to say and what I want to talk to you about today, guys, is all the lessons that I've learned in my past relationships. And these aren't all the lessons, by the way, but it's a good title. But all the lessons, what I mean is I wrote down a couple of lessons that I've learned, because if I would talk about them all, then I'll probably be writing for a couple of days and this video would be way too long for you to listen to. So I just summed up about 6, and probably we will go deeper into all the lessons that I've learned. You probably can also hear the ocean waves because I'm currently on vacation, as you probably can see by my hair. But let's dive in the first lesson immediately, because this is a lesson that I had to learn and it was quite difficult for me to learn as well. It was that people often project their own insecurities onto you. And I have a funny story about this, so you can imagine what I'm actually trying to tell you guys. Is sometimes you have to know and to trust yourself that the things that they blame you for is actually not the truth and is their own insecurities. So what happened once is I found that my ex-partner was cheating on me. I know, why would they do that? No, but for real. I found out that this man was cheating on me, and I don't know to which extent, and it doesn't matter for the story. But what did matter is that I chose to forgive this man, which I shouldn't have, but I did it. And the funny thing is, afterwards when I ended the relationship because I felt like I deserved better, I was the one being accused of cheating. And I know I was so mad and riled up about the fact that I was like, how can you accuse me of that when you are literally the one cheating in the relationship? And I was thinking about it for a long time, and eventually it just came to my mind is that you are projecting your own insecurities onto me because you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions. And taking responsibility on your own actions, that's something I will talk later in another point that I have written down. But be patient and stay with me. So the second thing is, by diminishing your own self-worth, is others will also respect you less. And what I'm trying to say by that is the following. Is the story of which I just told you about the cheating is a perfect example. I diminished my own self-worth, but what happens is when I diminish my own self-worth, he respects me less as well, because of the fact that it happened once, he can do it again because I will forgive it. Like, that's the story that he probably will get in his head. Like, oh, but she will forgive me again because she loved me so much. She can let go of me. Like, that's a story that you're actually putting in someone else's head. But the other thing is, like with your friends, for example, is, oh, you forgive the person that you spend the most time with and blah blah and do something so bad to you, and then they also feel like you have not really self-worth. So why would they treat you with more respect than you don't treat yourself? Because at the end of the day, guys, and that's something that I think we all need to learn, is to have more respect for ourselves. When you say something, you also need to follow it up. So I've had to learn this lesson, and the funny thing is, when it actually came to, when I actually had to put it in practice, to put my self-worth like here instead of here, that's when I noticed, okay, people are gonna walk out of your life. So the thing is with, not my current relationship, but the one before, I actually told this man, okay, I need some more private time with each other, and this man told me that he couldn't offer it to me. And what I could have done is I could have been really sad and blah 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 and hate my life for it and just be so sad that the relationship would be over. But what I did is, okay, this man can't give me that, then there's someone else who can give me that. And that's the thing, is it took a lot of strength to put out that self-worth. But also the thing is, guys, if I wouldn't have said it and would just go on because I didn't want to lose this man, then at the end of the day I wouldn't be happy as well, because I needed more and he couldn't offer me that. So, and at the end of the day, guys, it was the best choice ever, because of the fact that I also found other things out that I didn't want to find out. But let's just keep it at that. And then The third point is, guys, be very, very clear about what you want, need, and expect from this person, especially in the beginning. Because people don't know what you think, what you want, what you need when you don't express your feelings, your values, your beliefs. So that's something that's very important to be clear about what you want. And of course, at the beginning you need to be very specific about it, but when time passes, people should know what you want. So, for example, at the beginning, it should be very clear that when he does something that doesn't suit you, you are straight up telling this man, okay, I don't like this and I don't want it to happen again. But also the other way around, of course. If he does something that's very nice, or he or she, it could be both, of course, then appreciate it, tell him, her, because of the fact that when they feel either, when they know they can do it again or they can do it never again. So, and by time passes, of course, they should know, because I shouldn't be the one explaining that I want this, 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 and this every single time. Because then you're also diminishing your own self-worth, which was my point too, is when you have to keep on telling this specific man, okay, but this is what I want and this is what I expect from you, and that person isn't giving it to you, then you're diminishing your self-worth. Because how many times are you still going to ask this man to give you what you want, when there are probably other men, women, whatever suits you, that could give you that would love to give you that. So let's just keep it at that. The third point is to be very clear about what you want and what you need. Then the fourth thing is to stay true to yourself. So this is something that also took me a while to accept, because of the fact that, let me get to the first example once more. The story that I just told you guys about the cheating. There's much more to that story than I just told you. It was a very brief thing about what had happened. Like, I can talk to you about all the details, but my ex-partner will tell you that all the details are very different. And the funny thing is, he will have a completely different outlook and belief, because of the fact that people often don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, and therefore twist the truth or twist the story, even maybe manipulate you to believing otherwise. And that's the thing, guys. When you are in the wrong, when you have done something wrong, it suits you so much better to just say, okay guys, or at least, okay, I fucked up, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. It suits you so much more than to make an argument and trying to twist the truth in to believing that it didn't happen that way and you are not to blame, blah blah blah. It makes you just ugly, very ugly. So they will try to make you see the situation differently, when literally it's all about that they don't want to take the responsibility for their own actions. So that's the thing. You can tell if someone is of quality and thereby I mean worthy of a relationship with you, if they can own up for their mistakes, because everyone is going to make mistakes. That's completely normal. But can you own up to the mistakes you make and actually do something about it? And that's the fifth thing as well, is actions say so much more than words will ever tell you. So this one is mostly about change. And why I have chosen to write this down is that sometimes you aren't willing to give up on a person, and I think that you shouldn't always give up. Like, of course everyone is going to make mistakes, as I just told you, and if it's a good person, there's also always a possibility to work things out. If from both sides you guys want to work it out, then what is important is that when you have that difficult conversation and you have been very clear, as I just told you guys, then you have to look at the actions instead of the words. Because in those difficult conversations, the other person doesn't want to lose you. So that person will probably promise you the world and promise you all the things that you want to hear, says all the things to you that you want to hear. But what happens with that is you get a sense of relief, a sense of hope again, that the relationship will be even better than the fight you had and how it was previously. But if nothing changes in the relationship and you don't actually see any progress, then you are just fooling yourself and he is fooling you or she is fooling you. So when you had that difficult conversation, then the things that you have agreed on must be followed through. So people can apologize sincerely, people can mean very well and even really want to change. But if there's nothing that they do that is accordingly to those agreements that you have made, or like if they don't take the steps to change, then nothing will change and it will keep on being the same or even worse, because you will probably get resentment towards that person because of the fact that nothing actually changed. Just don't be a bitter person because of the resentment that you get towards that person. And a last one for now, guys, because I can write so much more, but I think it's good for me to keep it short, summarized, so it's still something that you guys can think of. The last thing is, you can't help people who don't want to be helped. It's actually kind of, this point is kind of a two-way verse, because I've seen addiction and bad habits in my life more than I probably have more than I wanted to, but also more than I sometimes think needed to. But the thing is, a lesson, or at least a situation, will keep coming back as long as you didn't learn your lesson. So you can't help people that don't want to be helped, but also lessons will keep coming back if you don't learn your lesson. And I've noticed that in my very first relationship, but also in the second, both addictions, and both I wanted to help so badly I wanted to help them, but I just couldn't help them because they didn't want to. And the thing is also, sometimes you really need to learn it and not just know it. So it is a beautiful character trait to always be helpful, always trying to see the best in other people and trying to help them. But what you have to learn is the effort is often wasted, because at the end of the day, when you fix something for them, they don't learn from the fact that you fixed it for them. So when something arises again, like a difficulty, when they want to grab for the substance abuse or the addiction again, they haven't learned their lesson because you are the one to fix it. So it will happen over and over and over again. And when they show you or tell you that they don't want to be helped, it's better to let them figure it out themselves, so they can also be proud of their own progress that they make. And meanwhile, you can take that time to focus on yourself, grow as a person, and maybe even outgrow that person, or maybe that person sees you growing so much that they feel the need to grow as well in a more rapid time because they want to keep you. And that's the thing, guys, if they really wanted to, they would have. And hopefully you have learned something from this video or taken away at least one thing. I'm very grateful that you have watched until the end. And if you would like to see more of these videos, then please subscribe and maybe even let a comment or a like to let me know what you think about this. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.